State University Radio, this is Dennis Mattinson.
This is Henry Fogel inviting you to join me on the next edition of Collector's Corner. The next program will be the second in a series of 4 featuring the great French conductor Pierre Monteux. You'll hear music of Berlioz, Brahms, Elgar, Massenet, and Schubert. And the Brahms will be the violin concerto played by Nathan Milstein with the Concertgebouw Orchestra. Join me on the next edition of Collector's Corner.
Collector's Corner, Mondays from 11 to 1 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Chef Amy in Aragosta Restaurant has moved to the Bell Tower, contemporary American and fine European cuisine, created by Chef Amy, served in casual elegance. Open daily from noon to 9 p.m. Chef Amy in Aragosta Restaurant, now in the Bell Tower, 1386 East, 100 South, in beautiful St. George.
Some of the web stuff you see on RadioDixie913.com is brought to you by St. George Design, specializing in web design, custom graphic design, and print media. Give your business what it deserves. A great website with a great design. A proud sponsor of Radio Dixie and Radio St. George. stgeorgedesign.com.
Hey Google, play Radio St. George on TuneIn.
This is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. Creator of Energy Healing by Design, Nicole Ashton, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life after death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow into their true authentic space. Nicole, with her natural connection to Source, which has remained open since her return, will help you and your family find the frequency of gratitude and patient love that will assist you in awakening your soul's design. We now welcome you to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole. I am Nicole Ashton, your host, and today we have a special host, Will Miller. We have worked together for quite a while, so it's amazing to have him on the show. And I did a live today via Facebook, letting you know that we are super excited to join forces and make this show about you. The intention in the beginning was that the phone calls are going to be up and going today, so you can call in the second half for a healing or a question that you may have. We are in these times of extreme, and people are balancing the world, life, work, kids. We feel like bringing an opportunity to ask questions, and we may have the spirit-guided answers and we may not, but the most beautiful thing that I've found is that when you open the question up, there is people that are seeking that same question and they just don't know how to ask it, or they'll be listening and they have the answer and they get to share with us. So we're trusting this is going to turn into like an interactive radio show where we can really have the spiritual aspect, but also how do we integrate these spiritual practices that we have, and the energetic practices, the scientific practices, because they're really all merging right now as and people are realizing that they are all really the same. Just as we are energy beings, we are an energy in motion. And so today we want to talk about that, but we also want to invite you to comment on the Radio St. George Facebook Live, in the Dropbox, in the comments. Share with your people, ask questions. William Miller has his phone up, and we're going to he'll ask him the second half, and or be answering him. We'll just see how it goes. Like, all that follow us know that this show is about jumping into different parts of yourself, and it seems like every time we do this, that the responses have been what we talk about happens to hit a lot of people's hearts, even though sometimes it's all over the place. But that's what happens when you have no script and you're just spirit guided. So today we really wanted to hit on compassion. And even though we have a topics, it doesn't usually stick to that. It kind of goes all over the place. But how important is compassion right now? And I want to share with you all. Thank you for showing up, supporting us, supporting each other. We had a retreat in Pine Valley. It was beautiful, and to see the different facets of people and personalities come together and share in such a beautiful experience just inspired me to do more of this, to see how we can best assist people to finding their inner truth and remembering, because in this world of extremes, people are moving in such rapid directions. I find my biggest thing I'm working on with clients is finding themselves again, loving themselves again, and compassion for themselves in the energy extremes the shifts that they're going through. So
I think, with this diversion, if you will, going around the world right now, we are all faced with being a little lost, right? And needing that compassion. Every one of us, everybody you see has a little bit of pain of some kind, and if you can understand that will give you the compassion you need to be there for others. We get stuck in ourselves, and all that's doing is making it worse. It's not helping us to be stuck on ourselves. We need to get out. We need to be compassionate for others and do things for others, and to help us get through what's going on right now in the world. It's the only way we can get through it in a good way, really. So.
And so on that, since we're going to bounce off each other and have this amazing experience, I have recognized that when some people have such a huge compassionate heart and they give more of themselves away than is available to them, then they're losing an aspect of their self. So what is that happy medium when you're like, this is what I've been asked is standing or creating boundaries, being there for yourself, and going selfless. But did you say selflessness? Is that what you used the word?
It wasn't the word I used, but yes. I mean, really in a giving way, of yourself to others.
Yeah, and there's also I know that April and I have talked about this before, like diving in and to also mask your problems is also can be detrimental and unhealthy. So this is just coming up, obviously, I'm like, what is that happy balance? Where is it really being selfish and selflessness? And it is a question I'm asked right now often.
Well, I think energy is, right? That's the first thing we need to understand is energy is. It's always going through us and out of us and in us, and energy is, right? It's how you apply that energy. And a lot of times we do drain ourselves if you're doing it in a manner that is not in a selfless way, if you will. You are draining your energy by doing that because you're not doing it for the right reasons. Compassion is an endless energy. It really is. And compassion for what people are going through, compassion for where they're at, compassion for Mother Earth and the strain it's under with, the pandemic that's going on, and with all the other things in the world that are going on that are bringing this dense energy, right? Compassion is a light way to, and really an unending energy source. You can always have compassion for someone, and that's not going to drain you to have compassion, right? Mm-hmm. Doing selfless acts for the wrong reasons will drain you, though. And I think that's what you're talking about. And a lot of people do. It's a way to ignore what's here by doing this. And you can't ignore your life and your needs, or you will drain yourself. Mm-hmm. So.
So that diversion that you were talking about earlier, we had that discussion about diversion and how life is really showing up in diversions in everybody's life. So mostly everybody that I've talked to. It seems like that you're on this spiritual, energetic movement of supporting people and trying to be there for your or attempt. Like everything to me right now is feeling like I'm trying. Like my personality before was like I'm doing, and I'm doing all this stuff because that is what I came back for. I am a very selfless person. I step in and I know that I agreed to that when I came back after dying, and that's okay. And I love every bit of it. But right now it feels like now I'm like trying really hard to like find out how to be there for people because a lot of people right now are so lost, and then it created a ripple effect in the way I did things too. Being there for them in the way I think that that they need rather than really what they need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It really does. As you were talking, I was just thinking, about the diversion, and you're right. Everybody, myself, we were talking about this earlier today, you and I, about how I'm struggling to connect. It used to be so simple for me to connect, and the law of polarity states, that there's an equal positive to an equal negative. And I really think, as the world goes through its shift, as we as human beings, along with Mother Earth, go through our shift into a new future, the negative has to, law of polarity says there's got to be as much negative. So I think we're seeing a lot of that coming in as a diversion to keep our minds off of an unsettled from the spirit, if you will, and it's making it more difficult for us to connect and do the things we need, and we're allowing these diversions into our lives. You and I talked about some of our diversions earlier and how we've allowed these things in our lives and how it's affected us and our abilities, and it really is kind of a diversion to keep us unfocused on where we need to go. And I think a lot of people are experiencing that right now. I mean, we have a worldwide pandemic that is a big thing on everyone's mind that's doing that. We get into our relationships and everything else that goes around us, and we see, protests and all these things going on, all to divert us really from the direction we should be headed. It's all the negative trying to fight against the positive. Now we've got to jump into place and bring that positive back into line. The law of polarity says we need to do that.
The most amazing thing is it's very possible and it's very doable. And when I am watching the world and witnessing what's happening, there is a lot that I have experienced personally. So I go there to assist, but yet the spirit, when spirit is driving you, when spirit is assisting you and connecting you to your higher source, God's creator, whatever that looks like to you, then you move into this alignment and realize that all of this stuff has nothing to do with you, and even in personal relationships. So when I hear you say that, I get in my head like, oh my gosh, I think about Facebook. I get lost sometimes in wanting to participate in being actively bringing awareness, and then there's this part of me that says, you know what, you're adding to the negativity. But yet it's very important for people to be aware of some of the things that are going on. And so when you bring a positive light is what we can do to assist certain situations. And I'm inviting everybody to really sit with yourself, go back into your heart space and ask, it is okay to look at your outside surroundings for a minute, because everyone says don't look at the past and so on. And don't project your negative into the future. But I'm inviting you to be neutral for a minute, especially those that are in a confused state, is that sit with yourself for a moment, view your outside, view what's created around you. That will show you how you're feeling in the inside. Ask yourself, is it chaotic? Is it lonely? Am I sad? Am I happy? Is my house dirty? That's one of the things when I don't clean my room, when I just get up and I'm just jump into work, I realize, wow, you're focused on work and it's showing up on your outside that you didn't, you're not putting your clothes away. Things, you just really look at those little things and you'll realize how you're feeling inside. I was feeling overwhelmed and all these different emotions that I was able to step into and witness just by like viewing in the outside for a minute and saying, hey, wow, let's take some inventory of this to shift. And why this is important to bring this all together is we're talking about, things that go on in the world, trafficking, chaos, and diversity, all this stuff. Well, the most peaceful state that you can be in will assist the masses. So when you're the biggest change that you can contribute to the world is inside of you first. And I know many that have gone before and many that go after us will say similar things, but it's true. It's if you are projecting certain aspects of anger, resentment, jealousy, it is all because it is in you, or triggers in you. And right now in this time, space, and reality, I'm telling you, it is hitting everyone. Because of the drastic changes that Mother Earth is going through, we're all going through some kind of physical makeup breakdown, thought process breakdown. There's this immense opportunity to take everything that you're viewing and witnessing on the outer world and take inventory of what your true feelings are inside, and then have compassion for yourself. And react in kindness to yourself.
Well, and how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat others, right? So it's important. And you reminded me as you were talking something your mother, Connie, said earlier today. She said, you people who live in their heart space, we know that from our heart is where we connect to spirit, if you will, and to our higher selves. Many people have got their head space in the way of it's a block, right? So they can't connect to their higher selves because they're so much into their head. So I think it's important what you were just saying. We need to get out of our heads and get back into ourselves, right? And inside of ourselves and look for those things and, get back into our daily meditation practice and get back into the things that keep us focused on our inner self as opposed to our headspace, which is our outer self, and blocks our ability to feel calm, feel at peace, be compassionate with ourselves and anybody else, right? So.
And I want to add this most amazing feeling, because joy right now seems, when people come and have these sessions, they're like, I can't find my joy anymore. I forgot what it was. And what I have experienced is we all are going through situations, emotions, rapid changes, and that's okay. It's okay to feel out of control, and it's okay to feel the way you do if you're depressed one day. But there is joy to be found in any situation. When I went overseas and I go into these villages and I see these children playing with like balls that they made of like bark, and when they are sleeping on the floor and they have like lice in their hair that we're getting off, but they found the joy in a little eraser that we gave them, like a pencil and eraser. They find the joy in little things, and we can too. We live in a place that, this land of freedom. And even though the epidemic is going, you still can find those little pieces. It's not that you shouldn't be aware of what's happening, but if there's nothing you can do at that moment, be joyful. Try something to be joyful about, and you'll recognize your whole entire house will shift. Just dance, body movement. I've had an interesting struggle with connecting to Mother Earth. Like, I connect to the messages, but connecting to the part of interaction with other humans. Like, I have really I don't understand it to the point it's just like almost numb.
Right.
And I can connect above and get messages and healing and energy, but it's almost like, I feel like, and we talked about this earlier too, is some people I'm connected above, but I can't connect to Mother Earth. And then there's some that are connected to Mother Earth and can't connect it above. And there's a part of me that believes and trusts that we do that on purpose. So we reach out to each other. so that we as communities and get to say, hey, I'm feeling that. And hey, and you start to have like this pattern that you are able to call upon each other. Right now, community is the most important thing. And that compassion for your community, you know, assisting people when they're down, and finding joy within your own house, and then you'll witness it just flourish. So the coming to me right now is that compassion for your own self. Like, people are really hard on themselves right now because of what is going on. They're either blaming other people. There's a lot of victimhood going on, things like this that is very understandable. However, when you let go of why has this happened to me, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And you do see different things. Your DNA, that we're going to be talking about a lot this next segment. This is what our show is going to move to. Is this the profound return to consciousness? The whole idea why I started the show, anyways, is to bring down what our DNA is, how it connects to our ancestors, how it influences what we do now, how we can clear it. And so we are really excited to talk about the 12-strand helixes and the energetically design. And so that's when we want the questions and call in for healings. And the way the show used to work is people would call in and I do a healing right on the show. And it just wildflower. People were just so excited about it. So we're going to go back to that now that the phones are working. Well, actually, today's the first day. I seem to say that, then all of a sudden something happens. So, next half after the meditation, we're gonna open the phone lines, and it's 435-879-4100. That is 435-879-4100. If you are seeking a healing, or you have questions, or to share something, we are reminding you this is your show. This is something that I started to interact with people to interact with each other, and to show up the best I could to bring awareness or open up consciousness. So as Will and I work together, it's very interesting. I will go in the spiritual aspect, and that when I died, the DNA, chakra systems and colors and things like that. And Will is very amazing at the scientific aspect of it. So it bridges the consciousness. It will bring more questions, I hope. So, that's what it's about, because I am questioning everything right now, not in a negative way. I want to know what this means, instead of, I don't get that really. So it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to just move past it. Like, if it hits a question, even if it's a simple question, if I don't ask, then I won't seek the answer. If I didn't ask how to heal my body and trust full-heartedly in a source that I couldn't see, then I wouldn't be walking, talking, and hundreds of thousands of people wouldn't have been assisted in healing to this day.
Right. I mean, people, I was thinking about this as you were talking. Walking through life and not trying to ask for meaning is like being in the middle of a vast library and never picking up a book, right?
Yeah.
We are here to seek answers and experience. And so, it's not a negative thing to ask and question everything. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. And men are that they may have joy, right? So let's be joyful, and let's find the way and ask the things and the questions that need to be asked to get there, for sure.
And ask yourself, what if I am amazing? What if all that stuff that I'm reading about that I used to call woohoo and whatever different things, spiritual healers and what if you could take some of it and start to expand on it? And what if it was real? Like, what if this energy that we're always talking about that's inside of you can be shifted and changed and created to your design, to your highest aspect of yourself, to create this greatness around you that it just echoes out of you, and it touches so many hearts that we could actually raise the consciousness of the entire planet. I mean, what if if I can do it alone in this short time since 2015, traveled the world and brought, and I'm not meaning to say, look at me, but today I feel like that the most sincere place I can say it from is I went with a childlike heart and I did it. And now that people are coming together to be supportive, think how many more people that can be awakened and their awareness opened.
Well, the great news we can change ourselves. We can change our awareness. We can change the world consciousness. And it doesn't really take that many of us. It doesn't take most of us. It only takes a small percentage of us to get that to happen. So working together to make that happen is what your radio show is all about, right? And what we're here to do. So I'm excited to talk about, our DNA and, the things that I've studied in epigenetics and the new sciences that are coming about, and how we can change ourselves, how we can heal ourselves, how we can do so many things that we're now just discovering. That you've known for a long time. So,
experiencing it and sharing it are sometimes different for me, because being in the experience, I've learned as I go. But now we get the opportunity to explain it in a way people know. I'm Nicole Ashton, and we will be back the second half for a meditation, and we'll be taking callers.
It's a good time to see a polar bear on Alaska's North Slope.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, there is a bear.
Thanks to climate change, the sea ice is melting, so more bears are coming right into the village.
I could be here and see the last polar bear in Alaska. That would be sad to see it.
Polar bears on thin ice, on the next Reveal.
Reveal Weekly, Saturday mornings at 10 on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome to Live a Better Life with Dr. Cody Nilsson from Desert Edge Medical.
Low sex drive, decreased energy, and loss of muscle mass are usually signs of low testosterone. We can check your testosterone levels and discuss options. I'm Dr. Cody Nilsson from Desert Edge Medical, and I can help you live a better life.
Desert Edge Medical, 656-2995, 656-2995.
Brandon Hansen, an associate from Cherry Creek Mortgage Company, is proud to be a sponsor of DSU Radio. Cherry Creek Mortgage Company offers pre-approvals, consultations, mortgage planning, refinance options, and reverse mortgages. NMLS number 283559. Cherry Creek Mortgage Company, your St. George, Utah mortgage lender. RadioStGeorge.com is the website, and you can do everything from there. Listen to live audio or view live video. Listen and subscribe to podcasts. View Facebook and YouTube videos from past shows. See the latest tweet or Facebook post. Submit information or find contact resources. It's all online. www.radiostgeorge.com.
It's the American Parlor Songbook, Sunday evenings at 9 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
You're listening to Radio St. George 100.3 FM. We now welcome you back to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole and special host William Miller. So the first half, we talked about an array of different things, and I feel like it's assisting for the shift and ways that people are handling it. And I'm really excited to move into the callers, and we're trusting that it's going to work. And again, thank you guys for listening and responding and the emails and things like that just inspire me to keep on going. And I inspire you, or I inspire you to ask yourself, or like, what is it that is holding you back? really finding that stretch that people are really seeking right now, because there's a sense of accomplishments people aren't really feeling right now because the world. Stretch. Do something that you really want to do that you're in fear of. Right now, it's about jumping. Like this radio, I'm scared to death. Most of the days, my brain is into the other world, and I'm healing, and I'm doing different things, and I've been up talking to people in India or whatnot. So I'm like sometimes terrified to get on the air, and I'm terrified of going blank. But yet, it's kind of hindered me on sometimes, because I'll call Sean and be like, I'm not sure I can come on today. And I made a declaration to myself, no matter what, I'm going to come on. And I'll have a saying, or I'll have something that will spark something in somebody, or I will even share, you know what, today I'm just not getting it. What should we talk about? There's going to be, or I had to take that jump. I had to take that stretch in the very, very beginning. And so I'm inviting you to do that. And as you're taking these steps, you're just grabbing on to everything you have. Feel the accomplishments. Feel every day those little movements. Give yourself gratitude. Say good job, and you're going to, each day you do that, you'll move more and more and more into that uncomfortable state, that it becomes your comfortable, and then you'll move more and more and more, instead of just staying in kind of a semi comfortable place that you're not happy in. So there's some people that have asked me about that happiness, and I feel like being complacent for me and not feeling accomplished or like I'm doing anything, is my fault. Because if I'm not feeling accomplished and I'm doing stuff, I had to really search within inside of myself and say, it's those little steps. Get a pen, get a paper, start writing down those little things that you are doing. And when you write that list, check it off and say good job instead of putting it on to the next day. And then you never have that feeling of accomplishment. And people need that. You need that to keep on going. So good job. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting us. If I haven't said it 100 times, I'm probably going to say it 100 more, but I love you. And I am very, very grateful for all you that do show up for us. So we are going to go into the second half into a meditation. Do you have anything to add?
No, I'm grateful as well. So let's do a meditation.
I'm really, really inspired to go into the heart. Your heart is... I always guess, and guess what? Today I brought a paper that says facts about the heart. It says, did you know that the heart magnetic field is 5,000 times more powerful than the brain and can help you access more of your brain? Which is amazing, because it's amazing to me, because we do practice our brain since we're little, and there's quite a few people that are understanding now that the heart has a brain, has neuroresponders, and when you start practicing it and you start really getting your inspiration from your heart and then move into your brain for the development of it, or to get it on paper, and you kind of have to go backwards a little bit, and you'll see that your things that you're creating are becoming what you love, because you're starting with the heart. Does this feel good? So as you are in your workspace or at home, I invite you to put 2 fingers on your chest and 2 between your eyebrows, and think of something you are so in gratitude for. Something that brings you the most joy. Joy is unconditional love in motion. And as you put your hands down, we invite you to put your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. Relax into that space wherever you are at. And on your left hand, you may feel, sense, or know that there's this heat, a tingle. Your energy moves up the left side of your body and out the right side. That's receiving and giving. And that is the way that your body is designed. That is the way everybody's electrical magnetic field force, Taurus, whatever is in your awareness. But that is the way that the energy flows through you. And when this is cleared, then clarity comes through. Your body becomes more healthy. Your immune system boosts. So I'm going to invite you to imagine the most amazing white light above your head. And in this white light is your design. It is surrounded by that God source creator that breathes you life daily, every second. And as you connect to this white light, imagine the white light coming down like a mist through the top of your head, down the core of your body, moving through each one of your energy wheels. In Sanskrit, they're called chakras. And when this light moves through these spheres of these energy wheels, they are cleared and cleansed. Feel that happening. Feel the tingles within inside of your body. And then we'll remind you that when you are aligned and in alignment with your higher self, those chakras will move energy to your blood, bone, cells, and so on. And as this white light with the rainbow spectrum, so there's so many different people connecting to right now, and they all have different colors. So as you're closing your eyes and you see, sense, or know a color that is fitting you, that is matching you, bring it into your body. I am safe. I embrace all pieces of me. I'm allowing joy into my life. I am loved. I am enough, and I always have been. I am a powerful being. I'm a living transmission of that very, very brilliant white light that created me. I am the source of creation, and it is up to me to shine my light, to be my light for others to see. I rise, and others rise with me. I love, and others love with me. This ripple effect is as big as the ocean. And when we come together as one, miracles all over the world begin. They happen. I am safe to be me. I am beautiful. I was created on purpose. I am me. And see that reflection of you as this white light is bringing you down a mirror in front of you. As you're closing your eyes, see this long mirror. As you're looking in this mirror, see you in your bright light. See you in that essence and energy, that miracle that we've been praying for, that you've been praying for. God has given us. Creator has sent us. See that inside of you. You are the miracle. You are the one you've been waiting for. Breathe in deeply through the top of your head, feeling that light from Creator, Source, God, whatever that looks like to you. Move down your body into Mother Earth. And feel that love, unconditional love, move up times 10. Mother Earth is nurturing. She's always evolving, and she's always loving us. Feel it move through your body, your cells, and you're going to breathe in and move that to the front of you, to the back of you, to the left of you, to the right of you, above and below. As above, so below. As below, as above. And feel that connection to all that is. Breathe through your heart and remember you are on purpose. And take a deep breath in. Feel the energy of Mother Earth, the trees, the sand, whatever is so grounding for you. And bring this light in and embody it in every cell of your body, because all that you are is huge. And when it's embodied and it's moving through the vessel that you are, you can expand it outside of your body, and you will feel that your energy is touching hearts. It's influencing people before you even walk in a room. Be love. And as you ground yourself in your body, invite you to open your eyes and feel that compassion, that gratitude for life. I mean, the little things such as breath, it's not something we think about. It's just something that God, source, creator said, hey, you know what? I'm going to every day breathe into your lungs. I love you that much. And Mother Earth is like, every day I'm going to send my unfailing love and nurturing through food and sources for vitality. We as one love you that much. Wow. You are loved and you are appreciated. You are way more than you've been told, and loved way more than you can imagine. So be. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you, William Miller?
I am good. I think that one was for me. Thank you. I needed to clear and open up. It's been a minute, so.
I had a sense about that. That's why I called your name to see if that you were back with us. We do only have 10 minutes. We'll just remind you that we can take calls if anybody has like any sort of question about that meditation. Also, if you're in the midst of healing and you can feel the energy move through you and you need some assistance, and you can call us at 435-879-4100. And that's 435-879-4100. And we'll test those phone lines out. Ooh, and we thank Sean Denovan here at the radio station. He works very hard to keep up with the different shows and how he has to shift things and keep us on air and making it available for the Facebook and YouTube and all the outlets that we have, because he has created that for us to have this space to have such a wide range of people. So, yeah. How are you feeling? I know that you were having to struggle with a connection, but I could see your body almost illuminate, or vitality. Your cheeks got pink. There was like a part in that meditation I could completely see you merge.
Reconnect.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like. It was awesome as we went through that meditation, and I saw my chakras as the light came down through. They all were, came into alignment, if you will, and we're all rotating clockwise like they should. And as all that started to happen, that's when you saw it, and you did. What you saw was just me be able to reconnect, which is the first time in a while. So I am grateful. Thank you. And it reminds me, we just have the power within all of us. We forget, and we get caught in our heads, right? Get out of your head, get back into your heart, right? And we need that. We need these kind of shows, and we need to be around people that can help us do these things, definitely. So thank you.
You are welcome. It's an honor. I absolutely love what I do. I love it. And be brave when to reach out and ask people for help. Even if you feel a little off, what I've recognized is I'll feel a little off, and then I'll reach out for help from Lula Grace or Christopher Maitland who assists me, and I'll reach out to them, and I'll realize how much I really was off or kind of
you don't think you're that far off until they,
put you back in.
Right. It's like when you work all day and you don't eat and you don't realize you're hungry till you start eating. And then you're like, oh, wow, I was really hungry. So it's the same feeling, you just don't realize how far you've gone down.
Yeah.
So.
And thank goodness for the people that have gone before us and actually taken out some or worked through some of those kinks. And it's interesting. We all are in stages of awakening, and it's not higher or lower. It's just it's the way the universe works is that you complement each other. You have polarity up there instead of duality. So as you're in polarity, you are at one level of awareness, light, or lack of either one, or you're at a profoundness of a higher light, whatever that looks like. And you shift and change as the universe does and as the collective does, and you work with each other. And then sometimes you come together and sometimes you go apart. But there's a cooperation that happens. And when we are moving into these different stages of life right now, as we all know, it's definitely shifting and changing. And it starts with inside of ourselves. The compassion to be okay where you're at and to realize it is very vulnerable at times. That is when I feel like self-compassion. When you feel vulnerable is like when you need to be most compassionate for yourself.
Well, there's no growth in comfort, right? So if we're not vulnerable and we don't allow ourselves to be, then we're not giving ourselves room to grow. And how can you be compassionate in that moment? You can't. You have to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to be open. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're most honest with ourselves, right? And that's not always easy.
Yeah. But vulnerability and like the piece of me that shifted the most, I think, was through humiliation in the lessons that I learned, in some choices that I made, in situations I put myself in. That humiliation and the lessons that I learned is what created me expansion. But I feel like people go through their humiliation because you do. When you're vulnerable and you realize your learned beliefs aren't what you thought they were, and there could be a better way that fits you or that could expand you or create more compassion and love in your heart. And then there's this humiliation that comes, and you can either draw back the oldness or you can learn from the lesson of how you feel. And when you don't learn from the lesson, I feel like it's a martyr without a cause. Like, because you're going through one of the most, humiliation is one of the most powerful opportunities to change.
Well, and we all have a choice. When we go through these things, we have a choice to learn from it, or we have a choice to dwell upon it, right? And most people tend to dwell on these, and then they carry those emotions with them and that humiliation with them for, however long, decades, And it's just what we need to do is really take a different look at it, a different perspective, and say, this is an experience that I'm having that I can choose to learn from, right? And take from it as opposed to be owned by it, if you will. So all those things, humiliation and all the struggles we go through, are there for a reason, and there for our growth if we look at it that way, right? It's just how you choose to look at it.
And when you're in that space and I've had one person say that they're like, I think you're talking about me and you're mad at me on the show. And I'm like, I'm not really sure what that means, because when we go into a conversation, it happens to be one that we've probably worked with throughout the week or months or whatnot, because Will and I both have several clients. We have a lot of people that we see a day and a week. And so it feels like to me that when we have a conversation, it's like, wow, that's what collectively and a big majority of our clients are going through. And so, this may fit you. Pieces may fit you. And when you're diving deep within, I mean, look at if you're taking it personal or if you're taking it as an opportunity to grow, or both, I guess, because instead of when something hits you personal and you're like get offended, that is an opportunity to go, what in the heck just happened? Because as we're talking as in a big group of people hitting it one-on-one, can you imagine like the miscommunication that might bring?
Well, and the thing you have to realize about that is everybody has their story, right? And you may be hearing something that we talk about here or in another group setting, many times. Everybody's hearing it from their story, and everybody is taking something just a little bit different from that and applying it to their story, right? As opposed to, and everybody thinks, I think the same thing. I think when I'm in a room full of people, they must be feeling and hearing the same things as me, but that's never true. There's not one person in that room that's feeling or hearing the same thing as the other person there, because we all have a different story, even though we're all connected. So.
And I was in a group of women, and we were getting ready. Well, we're getting me ready to go to Uganda because I was pretty nervous, and I wasn't sure why I was going yet. I just knew Spirit guided, and then money showed up, so I needed to go. And they said to me, I'm scared. I don't talk their language, and I don't really know what to say right now. And one of the ladies, Cynthia, looked at me and she said, Nicole, they are not interested in what you know. They will be fascinated by how you make them feel. They want hope. They desire hope and safety, and you are being called there because that's what you provide people. And in that group of 5,000 people, they will hear what they need.
Right.
Not even what you say necessarily, because even the translator is going to translate it how they do. And it's not about that. It's about opening the heart and allowing your own inner light to shine, and then surrendering that the person will get what they need, and trust it will be in a positive, pure light like you're delivering. We have a few minutes. You want to let people know how they can get a hold of you, William Miller? I love saying that, William Miller.
lifebydesign.institute is my website, and they can get a hold of me there, or they can email me at willmiller@lifebydesign.institute as well.
And I'm Nicole Ashton. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com. You can see my travels and see things about what I do. I do personal sessions still limited. I do limited. So you can call or book an appointment on that site. I also do speaking and events, and we're putting a lot of stuff together. Pretty soon we're near future, we really want to start these groups again, so we're thinking of doing another adventure at Anasazi Trail, a day adventure, and one at Snow Canyon. So we really are excited about that, and next week we'll have more details on that. So we will see you next week again, and have your questions ready. If you want to email us questions on either of our sites to be brought up at this time, we'll be super excited about that. And have an amazing week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole Ashton, creator of Energy Healing by Design, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life after death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow in their true authentic space. For audio and or video of this, go to Facebook or YouTube, Podbean or Spotify, and search Radio St. George or radiostgeorge.com. We invite you back next Wednesday at 4 o'clock for Return to Consciousness with Nicole Ashton on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
KD